All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Sweat Club. This is our sweat club for the month of July. I am so happy for those of you who came live. I know it's not always easy in summertime to make time for yoga, so awesome work. We are in Minnesota at my mom's place. My mom's already here in Shavasana because that's how she wants to start today. So she's just going to hang out there. You are welcome to also start in Shavasana if that's what speaks to you. Otherwise, I am going to give an option to, hold on one second. Start in a position that I recently learned I don't do enough. And so, option to start in a seated meditation with the toes curled under, or I shouldn't say curled under, the toes pointed and sitting on your heels. So I just went on a 5-day canoe trip, and to properly sit in a canoe, you actually sit with your knees touching the ground, butt on the seat, and your toes curled under, not with your feet out in front of you. I paddled for 6 hours a day. And I found out that I have not been training this position enough. So you can see what my mom is doing. She has a block under her butt, so she's raising herself up a little bit higher to be more comfortable. If you can't sit on the heels, you're welcome to put a pillow or something just to lift you up. While we do this first meditation, you might find some discomfort and feel like you need to get out of the pose. You're welcome to just get out. Just get out of it, and you can come to a seat or lay down on the mat. But I encourage all of us just to try it for a little bit. Put the hands on the thighs, or you can even take a mudra, pointer finger and thumb together, palms face up with the 3 fingers extended. Whatever feels good. And then once you kind of settled into your position, close your eyes. Let your shoulders relax. And just observe the sensation in both your feet and knees. So a lot of times we shy away from discomfort. We try to ignore things that are uncomfortable. But instead, today, I would like you to explore the sensation of discomfort, to welcome it, to acknowledge it, and then sit with that discomfort. So much more meaning can be found when we are able to just tolerate and maybe experience and even sometimes enjoy the things that challenge us. So take 5 really slow breaths. Begin to deepen the breath as you inhale. And then when you exhale, just exhale slowly out the nose. Continue this way again, deepening. See how much deeper you can inhale. And exhale. Wonderful. As you breathe, can you allow the nervous system to settle? Still observing the sensations in the feet and the knees. Take 2 more breaths. Maybe they're the biggest breaths you've taken today. Clearing out the air from the lungs. One more. And then on your next inhale, you are welcome to come forward onto your hands and just move out of this position ever briefly. So you just come to the knees and take a second. We are going to move back into it one more time. So if you think you're free, you're not entirely free yet, but allow the blood to flow back into the feet a little bit. And then once you're ready, you can walk the hands back, again, either sitting on the block or sitting on the heels this time. So now that we had the seated meditation, we started our class, we've got a pretty deep stretch you should feel on the top of the feet, right? Begin to push your toes down into the mat. It'll be a really gentle push because our toes aren't super jacked and really strong, but just try and push them gently down into the mat like you're trying to pull the top of your foot towards your shin. And you can ramp up and get a little bit more pressure and a little bit more pressure as you start to push. If you feel any cramps, you can just back off a little bit for 3, 2, good, 1, and relax. Hold for a big breath in. And a big breath out. We'll do that one more time. Start to push the toes down into the ground. Imagine you're bringing the top of the foot towards the shin, like you're trying to flex that foot as much as you can. Keep pushing, ramping up You should feel a little bit of heat begin to develop on the, let's say, the inside of the ankles, holding there. A little bit more for 3, 2, good, and 1, relax the feet. Hold for a big breath in, and a breath out. All right, you can come off your block, shift your butt over to the side and come to a seat. Extend both legs out in front of you and just give the feet like a nice little wiggle, bringing blood flow back into the top of the foot and the ankles. Again today, about observing and sitting with our discomfort. So as you move, notice if there's any areas of tension or what feels good. Now take your left heel and draw it into your pelvis with a bend in the knee. You've got your right leg extended long. Then start to lean back on your butt and bend into the knee, place the foot on the ground. Perfect. Take both hands under the thigh, so you're going to grab under the thigh, lean back and lift the foot up. From here, we're going to do a very slow ankle roll. So I want you to take your time, rolling through the ankle, flexing and pointing the foot as you go. And I want you to go as slow as possible. The inclination will be go to really fast. And look at your foot as you do this. Notice if there's an area that you don't have control over. That's fine. You can kind of laugh about it and giggle that the foot just kind of tends to move really quickly from one spot or another. Once you've done 2 or 3 on each one side, move over into the opposite direction. So they're clockwise or counterclockwise. Really trying to flex through this new space that we created in the ankle. Gotta make time to love our ankles. Good. Once you've mirrored side 2, round 2, come back to center. Take a breath in. Release your hands. Keep your knee bent. Hold here. And then take a breath in. And extend the leg nice and long. Good. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, twist over to the right. Belly button will come towards the thigh and fold over that leg. So imagine you're aligning the belly button with the thigh. You can let the head and neck release and relax as much as possible. Now pull your right hip backwards. So just feel a shift to the hip, and you can kind of bring yourself deeper into the stretch. So it's going to be a constant pull of the right hip back as forehead comes towards the shin. And if the shin is a long way away, just acknowledge that the forehead doesn't need to be anywhere near the shin for this to work. That's just kind of the directional movement that we want to take for 3 more breaths. Two more breaths. See if you can fold a little deeper on the last breath. Pull your belly button in, maybe pull yourself down and in. Good. Inhale, lift back up. Push the foot into the ground. As you lift, hands come high, and then you can release the hands down by your sides. Let's take the right hand, actually let's go left hand to the ground. I'm going to have us do a side bend each direction. So walk your fingertips to the left as far as you can. Walk, walk, walk. Then reach right hand high. Lean up and bend over to that left side. Seeing how much of an arc you can create with the body. Push your right ribs up towards the ceiling for 3. Your right leg is still alive, so let's point the foot today. Since we're working on pointing, point your toe. 2. When I do this, my foot immediately cramps, FYI. And 1, come back up to center, reach both hands high, take the right hand to the ground and stretch over left side, arching through the side body. Ground through your left hip, walk the right fingertips over as far as is comfortable. Breath in. Breath out. Again, left ribs up towards the ceiling as you open. Inhale. And exhale back to center. Hands come down. Okay, now we're switching outside. So bring your hands to heart center. Lean back onto your butt. We're going to do just a little quick shift of the legs. Right foot in. Left leg long, awesome, and then take a break. From here, turn over, lean the butt back, and then clasp the hands behind that thigh, and then lift the foot up. So we've got our ankle roll to second side. Stare at your foot as you do this, and I really want to encourage you, move slower than you want to. Flex and point the foot as much as you can, getting all the range of motion. So I just finished my first one. I'm going to do 2 or 3, really trying to be specific about where the foot is moving and how. Once you've done 2 or 3 on one side, you can switch into the opposite direction. Moving through your new range of motion. If your ankle's cracking, that's fine. Mine sounds like popcorn. Good. Come back to center, take a breath in. And then hands to heart center. Hold here. One more inhale. And extend the leg long, heel to the ground. Good. Inhale the hands high. And then twist your belly button over to the left thigh. Exhale, fold down and in. Find the stretch. So, invitation to close your eyes. Again, there's a subtle shift of the left hip moving backwards. So you don't even have to use your hands necessarily. You can just try to pull that left hip backwards and almost push your right hip flexor forwards. Find the stretch in the hamstring. Pull yourself down in a little bit deeper. Using the exhales to pull the belly button in and see if you can just creep down a tiny bit more. Relax the head, relax the neck. One more inhale. Exhale. Okay, inhale, lift yourself back up to center, hands high. Then turn your torso forward. We're going to take a side bend first. Let's go over the right this time. Fingertips touch on the right side. Walk the fingertips over. And then arch with the side body, left hand high. Push your left hip down. So we're still grounding through the left hip. Then open the left ribs up to the ceiling. Little weight in that right hand, so not too much dumping. You're still extending through the spine as you reach for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale back up to center and then transition right into the other side. Walk, 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 left fingertips over, arching through the body. Maybe even take the gaze up towards the ceiling, under the armpit if it feels okay, and the neck. And if not, just gaze forward, reaching, expand through the right ribs. 3. Push your right hip down for 2. Perfect. 1. Come back up to center, hands high, reach. And then exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Clasp your fists, lean back into your butt. Lift your left leg up. Draw your left knee into your chest. Right knee is going to come in to meet it. Navasana boat pose. Option to take the hands behind the thighs for balance. Option to extend the hands forward. Option to straighten the legs and point the toes. If you're a crazy person and try and hold, can't say it's great. I'm going to tell you, we're holding for 3, 2. Nice work. 1, bend the knees, crisscross the legs, and then lean forward. If you can, you'll try and cross the legs, roll all the way forward, come to your hands, tabletop pose, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Wonderful. Now inhale, you'll drop your belly, roll your shoulders back, gaze forward. Cow pose. Exhale, tuck and round into cat. Just waking up the spine. Inhale, drop the belly, shoulders back. Squeeze the scapula as you do this. Can you squeeze your scapula together? Exhale, tuck and round into cat. Spread the scapula apart. Take a few more rounds with your own breath. And you are welcome to move in any way that feels good. So if you want to add in side bends, add in any other motion, please take it. Option to walk the fingertips to the side of the mat, or maybe flip the fingertips back towards you just to warm up the wrists a little bit. And if that doesn't feel okay, then reminder, you can just move into cat and cow. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath. All right, let's meet back in center. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Walk your knees towards one another so they get as close as is comfortable. Then press the tops of your feet into the mat. So there's going to be 2 different levels of, actually probably multiple levels of things that you can do here. Option 1 is I'm going to ask you to move into cat pose. So tuck your belly, round through your spine, look towards your pelvis, and then push the tops of the feet into the mat. You're just going to push the feet. This is option 1. You should feel your core engaged. Option 2, you might push so much that your knees lift up off of the mat and you're just pushing on the tops of the feet, holding there. Whatever you're doing, again, looking towards the pelvis to encourage engagement for 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Knees come down if they're up. Walk the hands, one hand print forward. Roll the shoulders back. Lean the chest forward and lower all the way down to your belly. And come on down. Let's take the fingers out to the sides, fingertips to the ground. Elbows bend up, 90-degree angle to the sky. Inhale, lift the shoulders up, and then the head will follow. A baby cobra with some weight in the fingertips are fine. And exhale, you'll lower down. Take 3 of these, lead with the shoulder blades. Inhale, lift up shoulder blades, and then head. Exhale, lower down. One more time, lift up, shoulders lead, head leads. Push the tops of the feet into the mat, squeeze through your spine, and then we're going to meet Daphne over here in our Sphinx pose. So zip your arms in, try to keep the torso up, and then bring the elbows to the ground. Press the palms into the mat, shoulders back, gaze forward. Breath in. Breath out. Again, inhale. And exhale, lower down. Slide the hands back by your sides. Option 1, push up to tabletop pose. Option 2, if you're already feeling warm, you could lift the thighs, pull the belly in, curl the toes under, press up to plank. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. Reminder that you can always stay in tabletop rather than taking downward facing dog. Hold here for 3 breaths. As I lose my headphone. 2. And then 1. Look forward. Inhale, bend in your knees. And make your way slowly to the top of the mat. 1 footprint at a time. Fold into Uttanasana. Your head is heavy. Take your feet hip width distance apart. Grab for opposite elbows. Let's just sway side to side. Maybe you bend into your right knee as you lean to the right. Bend into the left knee as you lean to the right. Or just allow the spine to completely relax, getting space between every vertebra. Inhale. Exhale. All right, release the hands down to the mat. Pull your belly button in. Push your feet out to the sides of the mat without moving. Option 1, if you have any low back issues, sit back into the chair and then stand up. Option 2, we'll roll up vertebra by vertebra, letting the arms dangle, head dangle. Taking your time until eventually you squeeze the butt cheeks as you're coming to the top. Palms face forward, hands by your sides. Tadasana, close your eyes, breath in. Breath out. Inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana, sweep all the way up. Inhale, halfway lift, 2 hands to the shins or maybe 2 fingers to the mat. Exhale, bend in your knees, plant your hands, shift your weight over into your left leg and step your right foot back, low lunge. So your feet should kind of be in railroad tracks right now, and that's okay. We're coming up to crescent. Pull your left hip back in space before we lift up, and then inhale, lift up, crescent pose. Option to have the back knee down if that feels okay. Palms face each other. Push your right hip forward. Left hip pulls back. Get down and align your left knee over your left ankle as much as possible. Option to stay here, gazing forward, keeping the spine lengthening, or if you take the hands to heart center, roll your shoulders back. Start to push the heart up to the ceiling gently, just in a tiny, like baby mini back bend. You're barely lifting. It's almost as though there's a string pulling you up towards the ceiling, still extending through the spine, not dumping into the low back. For 3, 2. Take a breath in. 1, inhale, reach the hands high. Exhale, sweep the hands down to the mat. Look forward, bend in your back knee, and then step your right foot behind your right hand. Forward fold, Uttanasana with your legs nice and wide. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, shift your weight over into your right leg, step your left leg back, 1 big controlled step. Before we lift, pull your right hip back in space. Then inhale, lift up, hands high, crescent pose. So we take a little time to build. If you feel out of balance, just check to make sure your feet aren't on a tightrope. Make sure they're spread apart. And then when you're ready, you might bring hands to heart center. Align right knee over right ankle. Inhale, baby back bend, lifting the heart up to the ceiling. So this is really small. You shouldn't feel any compression in the lower back. More about spinal extension. Can you create space between every vertebra for 3, 2. Great. 1. Inhale your hands high. Exhale, sweep the hands down. Look forward, bend in your back knee. Step your left foot behind your left hand and then fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, turn your toes out, heels in. So your seat is still nice and deep, and then sit back into a yogi squat. So if you have trouble in your yogi squat, you're welcome to put a block under the butt. You're also welcome to lift the heels up off the mat like Daph is doing, so you can give yourself a little bit of a leverage. If possible, try to sink the heels down, hands come to heart center. We're going to be here for 5 breaths. So I was also recently reminded, maybe this is too much information, but I'm going for it because we're all friends. But I'm on a camping trip, and when you're camping, you have to pee in the woods, right? And so I realized how important this position is for any time you have to be outside, you need to be able to squat low. So allow yourself to get deeper into the pose. Even if you're uncomfortable, even if the heels are up, we're trying to find an instance where we sit. And actually in Asia, a lot of people will wait and they'll queue in a line in this position or this position, right? So finding this depth in the hips that we always had as a child, we just lost, we're gonna bring it back. All right, hands are at heart center. Now we're going to meet everyone who's feeling like they have a little bit of a compressed range in this and just lift up about halfway. Good, but stay low. Push your knees out. Chest forward, take a breath in. We're going to come to standing slowly over a 5 count. 5, 4, squeeze the thighs. 3, 2, great work. 1, feet together, hands by your sides, Tadasana. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Your feet are together this time. Step your right foot back. So this will be a bit more of a narrow crescent pose. Inhale, lift the hands high, crescent. This time we're just passing through. Once you nail your crescent, spin the back heel down and come to warrior 2. Gaze off your front hand. Bend deep into that front knee. Now, option to just hold warrior 2, or you may have noticed there's going to be a theme as there is with every day. You might lift your left heel up off the mat and come to warrior 2 only on your pointer toes in the front of the foot. As I said, it's an option. You don't have to do it. Hold there, gaze off your front hand, make a tough face for 3. For 2, get lower. Perfect. 1, if the heel is up, lower it down. Inhale, everybody straighten the legs. Say hallelujah, bring your hands to your hips. Wiggle your back foot in slightly. Toe turns up a little bit towards the top of the mat. Bump your right hip to the back of the room. And then Trikonasana, lean your hand forward. Hand comes to the inside of the thigh. Reach your right hand high, triangle pose. Option to take a block, just like Daph is doing here, to give yourself extra support. If possible, look up towards the top hand. Lift through your side body. Yep. Take 4 breaths. Again, because I'm always giving the options for an added challenge, you're welcome to extend the lower arm forward and have no weight at all in the hand. Holding for 3. Push the feet away from each other as you do this. 2. Good. 1. Inhale, bend in the knee, lift up, warrior 2. Exhale, sweep the hands down, frame the foot. Lift your back heel up to the sky, gaze forward, take 1 big step into Uttanasana, feet together, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up, shift your weight into your right leg, step your left leg back. Narrower grip or narrower stance. Inhale, hands high, wiggle and wobble. It's okay if you tip over a little bit, just find that pose first, find stability, and then exhale into warrior 2. Gaze off the front hand. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Once you've got your pose, you're nailing it, you are welcome to stay here or lift your right heel up off of the mat and hover the right heel. How steady can you make your breath? I gotta say, it's hot here in Minnesota. It's humid this morning. I'm already drenched in sweat. So if you're getting there, great. If you're not, push a little bit more for 3, 2, perfect. 1, lower the heel if it's up, and then we all straighten the leg and say hallelujah, hands to hips. Wiggle the back heel in slightly, turn the toe in so it's slightly up towards the top of the mat. Yep, so turn your toes up a little bit. There, perfect. Bump your left hip back, then lean your right hand forward. Trikonasana, hand will hover or come to a block. Gaze can be up to the ceiling. Perfect. Now, remember we don't want this left shoulder closed. The left shoulder opens to the sky. Push your feet away from each other. Option to hover the bottom arm. Once you hover the bottom arm, you'll notice all of a sudden the trunk has to lift more. So even if you're not lifting through the bottom arm, lift through the side body like you are going to lift the arm. Hold here. 3. Push the feet away a little bit more. 2. Good. 1. Bend in the knee. Inhale, lift up, warrior 2. Exhale, sweep the hands down. Frame the foot. Look forward, lift the back heel off the mat, and take one big step, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step your feet wide. Turn your toes out, heels in, and sit back into your yogi squat. Of course, we're going to do this again. So, if you find you're very comfortable in a passive position at the bottom, that's okay. Today I'm going to let you take it for a little bit. You might sway side to side. Option to take the block under the butt. If you can, push elbows into knees. So you're spreading the knees wide, using the elbows as kind of a tool, and then knees push into elbows. So you can start to have this action, right? As you push the knees in, you should feel the inside of the thighs begin to fire up. Holding there. Now this time there will be a little bit of a variation. We are going to lift up out of the bottom, but you'll keep the knees and elbows connected and keep pushing in with the knees. So lift your butt up off of the block or out of the bottom of the stretch. And don't worry if you're about to get mad at me, that's fine. That's kind of when this happens typically. Continue pushing. Now keep the knees exactly where they are. Push them out behind you, away from your elbows. Then reach your hands forward. We're going to stand up very slowly over a 5 count. 5, 4, yep. 3, 2, perfect. 1, feet together, hands by your side. Tadasana, sitting with discomfort today. Literally sitting with it in our yogi squat. Take 3 slow breaths. And yes, also you're welcome to have water whenever you need it. One more big breath in. And a breath out. All right, inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back, come to plank pose or tabletop. So option to take the knees down, and we're going to lower down to the ground very slowly. Elbows move back for 4, 3, roll the shoulder blades back, 2, belly hits 1. Inhale, take a back bend of your choice. Today for me it's fingertips. I'm just going to lift up into a full cobra with fingertips out. And exhale, lower down. Hands come by your sides. Curl your toes under. Option 1, press up tabletop. Option 2, press up plank. And then we all lower the knees down, come to tabletop pose. So just like we did before, I want wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Round into cat pose, look towards your pelvis. Push the tops of your feet into the mat. Option 1, you just push the feet into the mat as you hold. Option 2, you push the feet into the mat so much that you lift the knees up off the ground. For 3, 2, and then 1, if you got the knees lifted, start to straighten the legs. Maybe you can push into the tops of the toes and then curl one toe under, the other toe under, up and back into downward facing dog. Breath in. Let your head be heavy, breath out, gaze towards the pelvis. Once more, inhale. Exhale. Okay, inhale, look forward. Walk, step, or maybe you're craving a little hop to the top of the mat and fold Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit back, chair pose, hands high. Walk the knees together if you can. Get them as close as is comfortable. Sit your butt deep. Take 3 breaths. One more, inhale. Exhale, come to standing, hands by your sides, Tadasana, breath in. And a breath out. All right, gaze forward. Shift your weight over into your left leg without lifting your right foot up. So just bend into your right knee. Shift your weight into your left leg. So your left leg is straight and strong. We're already beginning to power up. And then hands come to hips. First, we find our balance. Lift the right knee up towards the chest. So first, no hands. I'm doing a really lazy version, I'm going to admit. So let's try and take it from the lazy version to really draw the knee up into the chest as high as you can. Then once you're there, you have the option to grab behind the thigh or grab the knee with the hands on the outside, and then pull the knee up and in as much as you can as well. From here, point your right toe. So point the toe down to the ground, extend, straighten your left leg as much as possible, and hold. Inhale. Exhale. If you fall out, come on back in. We're just holding. Again, inhale. Exhale. All right, keep the knee into the chest. Keep the hands where they are. Option to keep balancing. I know that left foot is getting tired, but we're ignoring it. Actually, we're not ignoring it. We're sitting with the discomfort, so we're just okay with it, right? Now lean your chest forward. Keep the knee into the chest and try to make your chest parallel with the mat. This is hilarious, and if you fall, you fall. Keep pointing the right toe. Hold here, 3. I got a cramp on the inside of my left foot. I'm acknowledging it. 2. Good. And 1, try to come back up to standing. Knee into chest. Release the hands, hold the knee where it is. Good, feet together, hands by your side, Tadasana. Shake that left foot out, oh my gosh. All right, so a lot longer of a hold on our balancing pose today, which gives us time to experience what happens when we ask our body to balance, which muscles fatigue first. So just be aware of it as we move on to side 2. Shift your weight over into your right leg. Bend the left knee to start, just to already find the balance in the right leg. Then, hands come to hips, left knee up into chest. So first, just lift the knee and find your balance. Gaze at your drishti right, something that's not moving, your point of focus. I'm gazing at a chipmunk, which is very cute, but he's moving, so I'm going to shift that to something else. And now, draw the knee up into the chest as much as you can. So really power up through the knee, squeeze, squeeze in, squeeze in, squeeze in. Give it all your effort. Perfect. Then from here, wrap the hands either behind the thigh or in front of the knee and hold. Nice little respite on the work of the hip flexor. But what is still working is going to be that right leg, that right foot. If you fall out, a reminder, you're just going to come right back in. Falling means we're learning and we're growing. Okay, from here, now that we've fatigued that leg a little bit, you'll start to lean the chest forward, keep the knee where it is, and try to bring the chest parallel with the ground. It's counterintuitive, it feels strange because you're hugged into a little ball on the left side. Try to roll your shoulders back, gaze down towards the mat, and we'll hold for 3. Point the left toe for 2. And 1, very slowly. Come up. Stay controlled, knee into chest. And then release the hands, hold the knee where it is. Feet together, hands by your side, Tadasana, shake it out. So notice, once you've got the movement, close your eyes, find Tadasana. Did one side fatigue in a different spot than the other side? Did one leg cramp in a different spot? For me, like my foot cramped on the left, but it didn't on the right. So just notice these differences in side to side, right? Where the body has to work a little harder. Take a breath in. And a breath out. All right, inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Building on, exhale, fold, plant your hand, shift your weight into your left foot, step your right foot back. Inhale up, crescent pose, hands high. Perfect, you've been here before, so guess what? We move quick. Exhale, spin the back heel down, warrior 2. We'll hold briefly, option to lift that left heel up, holding for 3, 2, good. 1, heel comes down, everybody straighten the leg, Trikonasana, lean forward. No need to adjust the back foot here because we're just holding for a beat. Breath in, breath out. Inhale, lift up, arms extend. And then turn your toes in, your heels out. So turning to the right side, wide-legged forward fold. So really bring the toes pointing inwards. Yes, so take a look at these bad boys. Sure, you can spin towards me. Toes curl in. Yeah, like you're bow-legged. Then roll the thighs in, push the butt back, and fold all the way down to the ground. Option to take a block. If your hands can reach the ground, maybe you walk the hands much between the thighs and try to get a little deeper. Also welcome to grab for the ankles, even big toes. One more breath in. Breath out. All right, inhale, lift up halfway. Hands can come to the ground or hips. Exhale, stay with your torso parallel to the ground. Inhale, bring your hands to your hips, gentle, tiny bend in the knees, and lift all the way up to standing. Good control. Turn your toes forward, spin the hands down, lift the back heel off the mat, and step forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, shift your weight over into your right leg, step the left leg back. So right away we move, inhale up, crescent pose. This should feel nice and familiar. Exhale, spin, back heel down, warrior two. This is where we hold for 3 beats. So either hold your fierce warrior or lift your front heel up, just on the front toe. 3 breaths. 3, 2, 1. Good. Release the heel down. Inhale, straighten the leg. Right away, just lean forward, Trikonasana. Gaze high for a breath in. Breath out. Inhale, bend in the knee, lift up, and then turn your toes in, straighten the front leg, heels out, round 2. So 2 options. Option 1, you can fold forward just like we did before, or maybe you'd like to clasp the hands behind the back and fold that way. Option to also take prayer behind the back if you would like to try that. Remember, whatever you choose works, so take a big breath in. And then exhale, push your butt back, thighs roll in, fold down. Any variation, and we've got 5 breaths. Pull the belly button in, see if you can get a little deeper. Good work. If you have the hands clasped, gently release them and then slide them down the hips and down to the ground. We'll all meet as we inhale, lift up halfway, push either hands into the ground or hands to the hips. Exhale, stay here, bring your hands to your hips if you can. Gentle bend in the knee, inhale, lift up all the way. Awesome work, turn forward, lift the back heel up, sweep the hands down. 1 big step forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step 1 foot back, step the other foot back. Option to move through a push-up variation, a chaturanga, or just come to child's pose if that feels good. We're going to be in child's pose for a few breaths. So you can either rest or move through this push-up variation. Once you're done, child's pose, push the butt down and back. Close your eyes. Take a sip of water if you need. If the mind wanders, bring it back to the present. Sensations in the body. Breath in. Breath out. All right, inhale, lift up, walk your hands back. Bring your knees together and come back to a seat on your heels. Option to take a block under the butt once more. This is the seat we started with. So we're going to move through this position in a kind of, I don't know what you would call it. I don't know what we're going to call it. We're going to move through this position in a bit of a different way. So bring your hands to your hips. As you inhale, you are going to lift up, bringing the hips over the knees. Good. And then as you exhale, you'll lower down very slowly, bringing the butt to the heels or a block. So you'll take your time, lowering down and back. If you find that this is too much work, you're welcome to do this with 2 fingers to the ground or even just come forward into tabletop. But ideally, as we do each round, take a breath in, slowly lift up. So this is a slow lift. You should feel your quads doing a ton of work as you push yourself up. And then exhale will be a slow regression back down into the pose. Take your time. Once the heels are at the bottom, we're going to do 2 more. I really want to challenge you to see how slow you can lift on the inhale. Moving millimeter by millimeter. Oh, my legs are shaking like crazy the slower I go. And then as you exhale, lower as slow as possible. Good job. Last one. Ready? Breath in. Very slow lift. Pushing up. Little by little by little. Hips are in line. Good. Exhale. Slow, slow, lower. All the way down. Awesome. Not a movement we control very often. Come forward, hands to the ground. Feel free to step your knees a little bit wider so they're not too close. Wiggle through the hips. Curl the toes under, and now we'll come back into broken toe pose because we've done the feet one way, but not the second way. Fun fact, you can also sit in a canoe like this with the toes curled under if you have enough space. So option to keep the hands on the ground, option to put as much weight as you can in the heels, and we'll hold for 4 breaths. Now your option is to either hold, try to put weight on the heels, or you can do one of these with me if you so feel inclined. You will do the same lift off, hands to heart center, as slow as possible. Watch the knees. If you have any pressure in the knees, back off. And then exhale, you'll lower the butt really slow down to the ground. Good work, everybody who's been holding it. Come forward, untuck the toes, tap the feet out on the mat. Give yourself a little break. Inhale, drop the belly, roll the shoulders back, gaze forward, cow. Exhale, tuck and round into cat. Inhale, come back to center. Curl your toes under, push up and back, downward facing dog, or stay in tabletop. Next breath in, right away we'll look forward, walk, step, or hop to the top of the mat and fold into Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit your butt back, chair pose, hands high. Exhale, come to standing, hands by your side, Tadasana, breath in. Breath out. All right, we're going to try a thing I just made up, so you know it's going to be good if I just made it up, right? Shift your weight over into your left leg. Okay, hands to hips first. Draw the right knee up into your chest. Take the hands around the knee to start. Point your right toe. Okay, so basically what we're going to be doing, and you can just balance while I'm talking because this makes it more fun, is we're going to be flirting with this idea of touching the back toes to the ground like you would if you stepped into crescent. So you can watch me. If you lose your balance, that's fine. I'm going to demo what we'll do. So you'll lean forward. Over time, you'll release the knee, and instead of stepping into crescent, I want you to try to just touch the toe, bring the knee back in, and you'll come up. We'll do it slower. You might do it from here. Watch this. You can do it from any version. So let's try the first side. Take a breath in. Exhale, start to lean. Lean. Find your level, and then extend the leg, and you're just going to kiss the toe on the ground, just like a little, hello, I love you, yoga mat. And then right away, draw the knee back into the chest, slightly round through the spine as you pull yourself back up and in. Reach. Release the hands. Hold the knee in. Option to point the toe and leg, straighten the leg, sorry. 3, 2, and 1. Feet together, hands by your sides. Tadasana. Terrible. Okay. Cute, but hard. Take a few breaths. Again, just getting comfortable with this discomfort, right? And sometimes balancing can be really uncomfortable. If you're not a fan of balancing, this is a tough one. It's a long hold. So, because I talked so long, let's immediately shift the weight into the right leg. Draw the left knee up, hands to hips to start. And then you can wrap the hands around the shin. Good. Point the left toe. Okay, so first what I'm actually doing is we're building fatigue on the right leg. The goal is to hold and stand a little bit longer, just to get you accustomed to, oh, my leg is starting to feel worn out. Good. Now when you're ready, take a breath in. And exhale, you'll start to lean any amount. Remember, you could be doing this completely standing. Challenge yourself to see how deep you can get before you release the leg. Touch the toe just as lightly as possible on the mat. Just a boop. And then draw the left knee back up in. Bring it back up. Come to standing. Breath in. We're going to do it again. Leaning forward. Bend. Take your time. Touch, hover, just a light touch of the toe. And then draw the left knee when you're ready back in before you lift up. Then the lift comes. Back to center. Did we only do 2 on the other side? Do you remember?
We only did 1 on the other side.
Oh, we only did 1. Okay, so I gotta make that up. Hands to hips. Straighten the leg, point the toe. 3, 2, 1. Feet together, hands by your side, Tadasana. Okay, take a breath in. And a breath out. We're going to do 1 more round. The option for the second round is to do the entire thing without the hands on the knee at all. So you can clasp, you can either do just what we did before, or your hands will be at heart center, and you'll go from here, toe pointed, and just touching without the hands in. So those are the 2 options. We are going to do 2 on the right side and 1 on the left side to even it out. So let's switch the weight over into the left leg. Draw the right knee up into the chest. Find your balance. Take a breath in. Option to have the hands around the knee if you like. Exhale, start to lean. Remember your right toe is pointed. Find your balancing act and then flirt with the mat, just touching your big toe very gently. Draw the right knee back into the chest before you lift. Then coming back up, lift to standing. We're gonna stay, exhale. Take another breath in. 1 more round, leaning forward, tilting. I promise I'm sweating so much for today's Sunday Sweat Club. Chest is balanced. Eventually extend right leg. Take just a little boop, barely touch. Moving slowly like you're moving through honey. Draw right knee in before coming to stand. Option to straighten the leg for 3 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Feet together, hands by your sides. Release. Ooh, 2 is hard. Okay, breath in. Breath out. Shift your weight over into your right leg. Option to take hands to heart center, clasping the hands or hands around the knee. Remember, you have 2 options. Draw this up, point the toe. Left toe points, take a breath in. And then exhale, start to lean, lean, lean. Find your version of depth. Remember, you could be almost standing. Doesn't matter where you are, just that we're focusing on balancing. Eventually, barely touch the left toe to the mat. Before you lift up, draw the left knee back into the chest. Very slowly, controlled, come to standing. Good. Hold. Option extend the leg and straighten for 3, 2, and 1. Release. Hands by your side, Tadasana. Inhale. Exhale. Again, breath in. Breath out. Inhale, sweep the hands up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your feet wide, turn your toes out, your heels in. Again, yogi squat. So a reminder, you might be on a block, and if you have a block and it's more comfortable, I invite you to come there because we are going to be here for a little bit just to explore the range of motion we have in the ankles, the hips, and the knees. So if this is a lot for you, you're going to just hold and sit in your yogi squat. You might be on a block. Some of you may be able to start to turn the toes forward. So same position, but toes turn forward rather than out. So explore and see if you can get your feet in, even if it's just like a millimeter or 2 turned in. If so, great. If this feels comfortable, you might be able to walk the feet together and sit the butt back. This is the hardest version, so if you can't do this, don't worry, because this takes a long time to figure out. So no matter what you're doing, you're either sitting in a wide yogi squat or this, whatever this is. Hold here, hands are extended for 3, 2, good. 1, no matter what you're doing, reach the hands forward. If you've got the block, you may want to remove it, or you can bring a hand down by your side, and we're all going to come sitting down onto our butts. Extend the legs out in front. Take a sip of water, a few breaths. Okay, so we are going to move through actually what is a progression to a transition. So we're not even going to be actually doing the transition for most of us, but I do want to show you where it is. And what we'll be doing is kind of working on this ankle movement, ankle flexion. So I'm going to demo first because I want to try and be able to get many options. So option one, and if you want to play with it with me while I'm doing it, you can. Option one we've already done. You're going to come up to your hips, hands on the hips, and then you'll curl the toes under one by one if that feels okay on the knee. You're just going to move from here to here. If not, you'll just keep the toes curled under and you'll work from here to here, lifting up. And you can lift a little faster this time. We did our slow regression. So maybe you want to try this with me and just see if you can lift toe to toe. If not, lifting up and down. If you're welcome to pad the knees if you need to. So that's option one. If you do this a couple times, you are welcome to move into a back bend. Like I said, this last bit's going to be a bit guided. So your heel and your hands will be on the low back, fingertips pointing down, coming into camel, elbows hug in. And so that's option one. We're going to do this like 2 or 3 times even. So that'll be faster. It won't take that long. Option two, I'm going to show you just so you have the option. So you'll go from here to toes curled under. Sit your butt back on the heels. If you can do this, then maybe you can start to lean back and lift the toes and try to either come here, right? What's happening? Or here. So welcome to, if you want to try it right now and just see if you can even do it with the toes curled under, hands extended out, maybe hands to the side, I don't care what your hands do. So eventually we're moving to there. So those are your 2 options. If you're playing with this version, you could work on coming to a forward fold and coming back down. So I'm going to work with the earlier option first. So let's everybody take a seat on your heels to begin. Option to have the block under. If it feels weird to change your knees or to change your toes up here, you could do it now and do it while you're sitting on the block and just start from this position. Ideally, we're just working on ankle flexion. So inhale, lifting up, lift high, curl the toes under if you like. Perfect. If you've got the toes curled under, fingertips behind the low back. Maybe we move into a camel. Exhale back to center, hands come to the hips. Option one, you're just going to sit back on your heels. Option two, you might sit back, lean, and move through the full transition, trying to balance, folding forward. Those of you just hold in broken toe pose as long as you can until the rest of us meet you. Knees coming down. Good. And then exhale, hands back onto the mat, untuck the toes. Take a breath in, breath out. Okay. Inhale, take a seat back on your heels. Hands come to the hips. Lift yourself up. Curl the toes under. Good. Fingertips to the low back. Hug the elbows in. Camel pose. Push the heart to the ceiling. Open the throat. Breath in. Push the heel of the hand into the spine to extend. Breath out. Once more. Inhale. Exhale back to center. Hands come back towards the chest. Sit your butt down. Option one is you're going to hold broken toe pose over with your toes tucked under. Then option two, leaning up and back, coming to a forward fold. Option to come back down, knees to the mat, and we all bring our hands to the ground, untuck the toes. One more round. This is the last time. Hopefully you're seeing what kind of weird things we're doing and what we're building towards. A reminder that it's just a fun way to try and see what your body can do and just move in different movement pathways. So, breath in. Everybody take a seat on your heels. Option to have the block under the butt to give you a little bit more lift. Hands come to heart center. Inhale, lift yourself up. Curl the toes under. Hands come to the low back. Last round of camel. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, heart high. Push the heel of the hand into the low back so you really feel the spine extending for 3, 2, 1. Breath in. Exhale, hands to hips or hands come to heart center. Lower down, take a seat on the heels. Option one, hold, or option two, lean back, lift the knees up. Maybe you come all the way high. You're just playing with balance, folding. And then if you can, you'll play with coming all the way back down. Everybody meet hands down the ground. Be like, Madison, what did we do today? Tap the feet out on the mat. Nice work. And then let's take knees wide, toes together. Push back into child's pose. Reach the hands forward. Take 4 very slow breaths. So funny, the last time I looked at my phone, we had plenty of class left and now we're almost done. So congratulations, great work everybody. Take 2 more breaths in your child's pose. Wonderful. When you're ready, you can lift yourself up, pull out of a child's pose, and then you can kick the feet around, extend the legs long, walk the feet to the very front of the mat so you've got plenty of room. Pull the belly button into the pelvis, extend the hands forward, and let's do a Pilates roll down all the way down to the mat, trying to hit vertebra by vertebra as you make your way down. I don't care how fast or slow you go. Once you're there, you'll eventually reach the hands above the head, stretch. And then let's take either 2 knees into the chest or 1 knee for a twist. Option to take right knee in if you're doing 1 knee, and then bump that left hip under, take the knee over to the left. You take a block under that knee as you extend to support. Good. And then if it feels all right, take the gaze over to the left. Just a few breaths in this twist. We've moved our spine so much in the other 2 directions, but now we've got spinal twisting. Just to give us that soft, buttery spine. When you're ready, you can use your core to bring you back up to center. Even the hips out by bringing both knees into the chest, even if you're only doing 1, and then we'll take it over to the opposite side. Right leg long, left knee in, bump the right hip under, take the knee over to the side. A reminder that I don't really care about where your knee is in space. I care more about your left shoulder being grounded. So if your knee isn't down to the ground, you can always take a block under it, or just let it hover there chaotically in the air. And dream that one day the spine will twist a little bit deeper. If you haven't already, reminder, gaze could be over to the left. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, using your core to bring you back up to center. Can you even out the hips and then transition directly into a happy baby, reaching for outside edges of the feet, drawing the knees down towards the sides of the body. And if that feels good, you're welcome to take a cobbler's pose today by bringing the feet together, clasping the hands around the outside of the feet and pushing the knees wide. It's also like a supine butterfly. And then just for the next minute, as we don't have a ton of time, I'm going to invite you to take any other movement that you might want to take to even out the body, to make yourself feel rested and prepared for our Shavasana. Doesn't have to be a yoga pose, it could just be free movement, one last bit of exploration, right? To see how the body is doing, how does the body feel after the movements we did today. If you're doing 2-sided work, about that time to move on to the other side of the body. And then over the next 5 or so breaths, you can make your way towards Shavasana, our final resting posture. Reminder, you can take your feet a little bit wider than normal if you're hot, to allow the body to release a little bit more heat. Palms can be face down on the ground if you'd like grounding, or face up if you'd like to receive energy. And then just briefly wiggle your toes to make sure your legs are completely relaxed. Relax the shoulders down to the mat, full relaxation, no tension in the jaw, the head, and the neck. I.e. chill out.
Once you're there, take a full breath in. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Let's do one more. Inhale deeply. Open mouth, exhale. Close the mouth. And transition into Shavasana. If you would like to stay in Shavasana, please just stay and relax. Even just turn this video off and go back into your meditation. But if you are ready to come out of your practice, you can begin with just a full inhale and exhale. And gradually reawaken the body with small movements. Allowing these movements to create more energy and grow into larger movements. Perhaps rock your head side to side. Maybe you reach the arms above the head, point the toes, full body stretch. And you can draw one knee in towards the chest and the other. Give yourself a little hug and a squeeze and say thank you for showing up to practice yoga today. It is not always easy. And you can roll on to your favorite side using your arm as a pillow in fetal pose. Passing through and pushing yourself up to a seated meditation of your choice. Once you've arrived, you can take your palms to heart center in prayer, or maybe two hands over the heart. Pick whatever feels best for you. No matter what you do, let the spine be long. Gently tilt your chin down towards the ground. Take a breath in. And then bow to seal your practice. As you're ready, lift the head back up. Slowly open the eyes. Get readjusted to the space around you. Thank you all. Fantastic work today. Happy Sunday Sweat Club. Thanks to Daph for being here as our second student today. I hope you all are having a wonderful summer, and I will see you soon. I will post the next class, which will be in August, as soon as I can, and let you know what dates. Other than that, have a fantastic week. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Madison. Have a lovely rest of your holiday. Safe journey.